Welcome back. For our final deep dive into circular economy business models, we're going to pull the camera way back. We've looked at how individual companies can make a huge difference, but now it's time to ask the big question. How do we build the entire ecosystem? Let's get into it.
Okay, let's just start with this idea right here, because it's so important. For way too long, sustainability has felt like a trade-off, right? An extra cost, a feel-good thing you do on the side. But this quote, it just completely flips that on its head. It reframes circular models not as some kind of sacrifice, but as optimization. This is the key. It's not about choosing profit or the planet. It's about designing a smarter system where they all win together.
And this slide just lays it out so clearly. On the left, you've got the old way of thinking, the linear mindset. It's a one-way street. Take resources, make a product, and then waste it. It's all about short-term shareholder value. But on the right, you see the circular mindset. Regenerate, cycle, reuse. It's a loop, a continuous flow where we keep value in play for everyone involved. We're talking about a fundamental philosophical shift in what it even means to create value.
So, all this sounds great in theory, but does this new mindset actually work out there in the real world? Oh, absolutely. The proof is right there in the performance of the companies who are already doing it.
I mean, just look at Caterpillar. This is not some hot new trend for them. Their reman program, they've been doing this since 1973. They take old, used components, stuff that would normally be just junk, and they bring them back to a like-new condition. And here's the best part. They slap the exact same warranty on it as a brand new part. Now that is confidence in your process.
And just look at the savings here. I mean, wow. We are not talking about small incremental improvements. We are talking up to 80% less energy, up to 88% less water, up to 92% fewer chemicals. These numbers are absolutely staggering. This proves remanufacturing isn't just a little bit greener, it's a profoundly more efficient and cost-effective way to make things, period.
And if those numbers didn't convince you, here's the real kicker, especially for anyone watching the bottom line. A remanufacturing plant, on average, has a return on investment 5 times higher than a standard one. Just let that sink in for a second. 5 times. With a number like that, the business case for going circular becomes impossible to ignore. It's not a compromise. It is just smarter business.
And it's not just in heavy industry. Take a look at what Patagonia is doing with their Worn Wear program. They built this amazing business where customers can trade in their old gear. Patagonia cleans it, fixes it up, and then resells it. This gives every jacket and fleece a second life, it builds insane customer loyalty, and it creates a whole new source of revenue from stuff that would otherwise just sit in a closet or end up in a landfill.
Okay, so we've seen these amazing stories of individual companies succeeding, but here is the really crucial pivot in our thinking today. No matter how incredible Caterpillar or Patagonia are, they can't achieve true circularity all by themselves. And this brings us to what we call the ecosystem imperative. This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? A single company going circular is like one gear turning all by itself. It's a great start, but for the whole machine of the economy to really shift, all the gears have to connect and start turning together. True circularity isn't just about what one company does, it's an ecosystem-level achievement.
So how do all these gears connect? Well, a key concept here is something called industrial symbiosis. It sounds a little complex, but the idea is actually incredibly simple, and frankly, kind of beautiful. It's when one company's waste becomes another company's raw material. This creates these powerful connections between businesses that might have never, ever talked to each other before.
And here is that idea in action, right here. You've got Omni United, they make tires, and you have Timberland, they make boots. 2 totally different worlds. Omni United now designs its tires from the start with recycling in mind. So when those tires are worn out, Timberland takes that rubber and turns it into super durable outsoles for their boots. One company's end-of-life product is the direct beginning for another's. That's the ecosystem in action.
Now, if this is all so powerful and so profitable, you have to be asking, why isn't everybody doing this? Well, the path forward means we have to be honest about the real-world barriers that are standing in the way of building this ecosystem on a global scale.
And the challenges are definitely real. You've got financial hurdles, right? It can be hard to model these new benefits up front. You've got old-school company structures that are really resistant to change. And then there's the human element, just a natural aversion to risk. Add in some technology gaps and the massive challenge of getting your whole supply chain and even your customers on board, you can see it's a lot. But just admitting these barriers exist is the first step to tearing them down.
So how do we tear them down? The thinking suggests a pretty clear 3-part plan.
First, we just need way more experimentation, more companies trying these models out, even on a small scale. Second, we need that systemic collaboration, building more of those partnerships like the one we saw between Timberland and Omni United. And third, we need governments to create policies that encourage and de-risk this massive transition for everyone.
And that brings us right back to where we started. Full circle. This whole thing is about so much more than just recycling a little bit better. The ultimate goal here is a fundamental redesign of how business itself works. It's about creating an optimized system where a company's success is directly tied to the well-being of people, its community, and the planet.
So as we wrap up not just this explainer, but our whole series, I want to leave you with this one question. Building this new economy, it isn't someone else's job. It needs innovators to be bold and experiment. It needs investors to fund these new models. It needs policymakers to create the right playing field. And it needs all of us as consumers to make different choices. So I'll ask you, what is your role in building the circular ecosystem?